Okay, at 7 o'clock, you please rise for the pledge. Okay, get a motion to accept the minutes of January the 5th.
I make a motion that we accept the minutes from the January 5th meeting.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. The motion to accept the financial report and payment of the bills.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. No amendments. Okay, we have a proclamation of Relay for Life, a Life Day. Donna Phillips, would like to just come up or speak on it? And we'll...
I'd love to speak on it. I'm not sure if you're aware, Elkton is actually celebrating.
You can come up front.
Okay. Elkton, should I take a seat or stand?
You can if you like.
Okay.
Just put the mic in front of you. And just state your name and address.
Okay. My name is Donna Phillips, 258 Mike Drive, Elkton. Elkton is actually celebrating its 15th annual Relay for Life this year, and we have been given the dubious honor of being one of 4 towns in the state of Maryland and one of 100 towns across the country that have been chosen as a Cancer Prevention Study 3 site for 2011. And what that means is for all of the fundraising we've ever done over the last 15 years to support cancer research and so on, you're going to have research right in Elkton's backyard. And I was hoping to find that we have a proclamation that June 3rd, 2011 is Relay for Life Day in Elkton, because it is very big for a lot of people in the area. Last year our event raised $129,000, and we just keep going to keep up the fight.
Very, very good. Okay, I do have a proclamation. The proclamation of the Mayor and Commissioners of the Town of Elkton declaring June 3rd, 2011 as Relay for Life Day in the Town of Elkton, Maryland. Whereas for 26 years, communities have come together through Relay for Life activities to celebrate the cancer survivors and caregivers and to remember the loved ones lost to the disease. And whereas Relay for Life empowers the individuals and communities to fight back against cancer. And whereas the money raised during Relay for Life in the Town of Elkton supports the American Cancer Society's mission of saving lives and creating a world with less cancer and more birthdays by helping people to get well and stay well and by finding a cure for cancer. And whereas in 2011, Relay for Life activities funded more than $150 million in cancer research. Now therefore be it resolved that the Mayor and Commissioners of the Town of Elkton hereby proclaim June 3rd, 2011 Relay for Life Day in the Town of Elkton and encourage all citizens to participate in a Relay for Life event at 6 p.m. on June the 3rd, 2011 at Elkton High School. In witness thereof, we have unto set our hands and seal this Town of Elkton on this 19th day of January. Signed by the Mayor, Commissioner Hicks, Commissioner Piner, Commissioner Jablonski, Commissioner Gibbons, and Town Administrator Lewis George. I have a motion to accept the proclamation.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. And I had one for you there. Let me come down there. All right. I'll just take that. Keep it up like that.
Okay, thank you.
All right, there you go. Okay, Lewis.
The item I have tonight is for the 4th of July fireworks. I need the approval of the board to initiate a contract with the company that presents our fireworks. The company's name is, actually the contract they have it in is fireworks extravaganza, but actually it's the New York corporation called J&J Computing Inc. trading as fireworks extravaganza. I would ask the board to approve the July 4, 2011 fireworks display for an amount of $14,625. I'm sorry, $14,600.25 for the 4th of July this year.
What was the amount last year? Similar?
13,700, it did go up, but it has stayed the same for 3 years. And this contract will be the same for 3 years, but possibly in the third year, a slight increase.
Yeah. So move.
Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay.
That's all I have.
All right, I had a couple of things here. I attended the Will Mapco meeting a week or so ago, and they did approve the 2040 Regional Transportation Plan, which included the possible train here to Elkton by 2030. I think, no, 2020, we got it moved up a little bit. So they're hoping that we get some more money, and if we get the money, then they'll try and at least get it moved up even more for us and see how we can continue to move forward with the train. They also approved the Transit Oriental Development Plan for us. That's been taken care of, and also was approved the bicycle plan. The master plan was approved by Will Mapco, so all those things have been accepted by the Will Mapco Council. Okay. Lewis, the walkway lights, did we get them done yet? Are they still pending?
The last communication I had with Delmar Power that we'll try to get them done this week.
Okay. Also, there on East Main and Delaware Avenue, just prior to lights coming in town, there's a manhole there that has a little big pothole there. You think we can get somebody to put some hole patch in there? It's eroding away pretty bad. Mhm. And also, I'm sure everybody's been hearing some rumors possibly about an Olive Garden coming to the town of Elkton. Well, I can tell you it's coming because they actually did sign the lease, so it's official. They will be coming to the town of Elkton. Okay, I have some appointments. The Housing Authority Board has one seat that is expired on January 31st, and I'd like to request a motion to reappoint the following person to the Housing Authority Board for the term February 1st, 2011 to January 31st, 2016, and that is Mary Johnson. So if I can get a motion to accept her for reappointment.
So move.
A second.
Second?
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried. On the Board of Housing Appeals, there's 2 seats that are open, and I'd like to request a motion to reappoint the following persons to the Housing Appeal, each term from the 1st to 2011 to January 31st, 2014. This is Nita Heath and Mr. Kurt McCardle. Do I get a motion to accept those?
That's appointment or reappointment?
No, reappointment.
So move.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Also now on the Board of Zoning Appeals, I have 3 seats that are due to expire on January 31st. And I'd like to reappoint the following. Mr. Jared Rowdy Bush. So I need a motion to accept him to be reappointed.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And then another for new appointments, I have Dawn Schwartz, is it? Schwartz. For the Board of Housing Appeal, Zoning Appeal, I'm sorry. So if I can get a motion to accept.
So move.
Okay.
Second?
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
And then one more would be Shirley Ann Hicks. So I can get a motion to accept her.
So move.
Second.
All those? Okay.
On record, I recuse from this vote.
Okay. The motion carried. Okay. That's all I have. Mary Jo?
I just want to let everyone know the senior housing marketing has been begun. There is a live person online. If you call the 410-620-1123 number, they are taking information now for applications, and they're moving right along and expect to be open end of June. So that'll be a great addition to the area.
I know there's an online, because you just mentioned it, but is there any written documentation for anybody that might be interested so that they can read it?
Right now, what they're doing, they're going to start marketing in the area, but call the number and then they will be sending them, they're going to take information over the phone and they'll be sending out a brochure. So I can see if I could actually get some of those brochures.
Appreciate
Because
it.
I do just have a postcard, but I'll check on getting the brochures.
Thank you.
And the other thing, I just wanted to commend Commissioner Givens for putting on the Martin Luther King celebration event. It's always wonderful. He does a great job, and it brings the whole community together, and I want to just commend him for that. And that's it.
Thank you for being supportive for that. Somebody know that the town is always there, so I appreciate it. I asked Lois yesterday, and I guess out of curiosity, I just asked him why does Artesian have so much water? And, you know, everybody's buying from him. Lois, you want to give them the same answer? You know, we sit here and talk about it, but sometimes we don't think about that.
The water that the town actually consumes via the internet is water from their wells. But our agreement, the interconnection agreement we have with them, ties the water supply to the Chester Water Authority in Pennsylvania. They supply water through an agreement with Artesian through an interconnect with that organization. Their surface supply is from the Octorara River or reservoir. So they have a take-or-pay obligation with Chester Water Authority, just as we have an obligation with them to take-or-pay. And by selling the water through their system to the town of Elkton and other customers, they lessen that debt burden or that burden on them for expense. So that's basically where the water comes from.
Well, who was the guy in there the other day talking about another source? Who was he? He was
Ken Simmons.
Kevin Simmons. What water source was he talking about?
United Water.
And so they're located
They have wells too, I believe.
in Delaware.
From other sources. I'm sorry?
In Delaware.
Yes, United's in Delaware. They're not a regulated utility in Maryland. Only Artesian Water Maryland is.
And so the same question I asked you again. So our source here is not as abundant, or it is
For us,
in our own area.
in our own area, probably not. But given the complexity, difficulty, and time-consuming effort to get well number 4 permitted, kind of gives you an idea how difficult it is to get water out of the soil or ground for the aquifers in our area, even though they probably come from the same source in Delaware.
But Artesian's larger than United. Are they not?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I thought,
Large,
yeah.
very large.
So we're going to be forever dependent upon them in a sense. Yeah, Nate?
Well, I don't like to say that because if we discover other sources in the future that are more to the best interest of the town, we may explore this option. But since we have probably in excess of $1 million invested in infrastructure, to interconnect with them, we'll probably want to use it through the service life of that equipment at least.
I should have mentioned it when Artesian was here, but I just didn't want to be negative, but from what Commissioner Gibbons is asking, there's been some talk about the same aquifer that they're pulling from. We're really sitting on this side of Maryland side as well as Delaware. So the point that he's bringing, for clarity, how do we find out whether or not that we don't have an option to pull from the same aquifer, or if someone is able to supply us with the water that we're so-called buying from them? Because that's basically what he's getting at.
We are trying to get water from our aquifer. We're doing it through a appropriation permit application with Maryland Department of the Environment for well number 4. That draws from essentially the same aquifer that artesian does. Geologically, it knows no boundaries with respect to states. It only knows geological boundaries. But the MDE doesn't regulate water in Delaware, DENREC does. So they have permits through DENREC in Delaware to draw from the aquifer. So we're in the process of trying to get additional water through the Maryland Department of the Environment. So we are trying to draw from the aquifer.
Thank you.
And how's Craig doing? I understand he had an operation last week on his back.
Today.
It was today?
Yes.
Oh, the boy in
And
school
he got
must have turned it
surgery
wrong.
and-
And I guess that's it.
Okay, so,
That's it for-
okay. All right, Becky?
I gave you the picture.
You can stand if you want to, Mr.
My name's Rebecca McKinney. I'm from Cecil County, 70 years of it, and I'm proud of it. Okay, first of all, I'd like to thank the police department for what they did tonight, protection of Mary Jo's building, of the trash being tore up that she helps do, and it wasn't right. And the police department went out there and checked it out and did what they could. I don't want to thank them for it. Okay, number one, we're talking about another senior house. Now, for this to be a senior house, like I've already lived in, and I'm proud of it, and very happy there, how are you going to call this a senior housing if you're going to have to pay water and sewage, your own cable, your electric, and your gas? Plus, an officially, like I have, is $575. How do you expect the seniors to live that have medicine like I do, $475 a month?
Becky, it's senior apartments, and I probably shouldn't use the word house. It's senior apartments. So it's apartments for senior citizens age 60 and over, and it's affordable income, so they're not a low-income apartment.
Mm-hmm.
But it still would be hard for any senior to get in there and live right, that has to pay a lot of medical bills and also buy groceries and everything else. I think this will balloon.
But I think where you live, Becky, I hate to cut you off, is predicated on your income.
Right.
I believe where this is going up now, and that's not necessarily predicated on income. If you can afford to pay that, then you go there.
Yeah, well, it's okay. It looks like a beautiful building according to the Cecil Wig, you know. But I probably will, and I know there's no doubt in my mind I will stay where I'm at.
That's good.
But another thing, Mayor, is with our apartment, Mr. Hicks has done a wonderful job with it, and he always will. And so it's all obvious. But we need something done with homeless hanging out there 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and the teenagers. We have no more curfew. Hello, thanks to the government. So the teenagers can be out on the street up and down to 2, 3 o'clock in the morning because I've seen them. And that's a sin because parents doesn't care. And then they want our police department to go out and hunt their child after 24 hours notice because they can't find him or her. And that's not our responsibility as parents. I think we should find them a big fine and put them on work community hours. If they can't take care of the children, take the children away from them. Now, also, I started that last week, which you know. Okay, now I'd like to know if there's someone in some way that we can help Mary Jo get the door fixed on the building that she has hole next to her building where everything is hanging. And also if the police department can ride around and check it because
What
these
door back here are you
children,
talking about?
uh,
What door?
the one you open up,
There's,
no,
I
they
don't know.
broke it tonight. Yes. And,
Into the front door of the Alliance building, the doors broke?
our thing that says out front of it, huh?
The kiosk, is
Yeah.
that,
Yes.
that was broke and and it's going to be repaired.
Okay, so I pushed it back in and I told the children, you can't play out here. This building is well known to the town of Elkton, and I'm going to a meeting. I want every one of you, not one, but every one of you to bend over and pick up all this trash that you tore up now, not later. And don't let me catch you down here again messing with this and tearing it up, because it's not right to tear up something that belongs to the town of Elkton. And believe me, every one of them apologized, and they picked it up. Where can we put it? I said, in a trash can. Oh, in the road, I said, sir, I don't talk twice. Trash can, not road, or we're picking it again. And so they picked it up, put it in a trash can, and I dared to catch one of them back down there. Or I will call the police department. And I think we need to know that Mary Jo does a lot in this town. All of you do. But it's a sin that we have teenagers that's able to stay out all night long and tear up the town of Elkton. We don't deserve it. And another thing is, Louis, at the walk where we walk across to come down to Elkton, up in front of the community building, the yellow signs need painting, the cross, yeah, they need painting again. And can we have a sign or something to put up our cars? Please watch your driving and cars should stop or slow up, because they just keep on going whether you're walking or not. So I stopped in the middle of the road this afternoon because a lot of seniors was getting ready to walk down the Lions Club, the Lions Pharmacy, and I stopped in the middle of the road and hold up the traffic for us all, 20 of us, to get across. And I'll do it again, but I appreciate it.
Just be careful, Becky. Be careful, okay? Just be careful.
Okay, thank you.
I have to get you a vest.
Uh,
I have to get you a vest if you're gonna let that many people cross the street so they don't get hit.
I have one of them from the fire department.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Wes?
Happy New Year, everybody.
Same thing.
Just a couple questions. One, Mary Jo, I wasn't quite clear. Did they say by 2012 the train will be coming in?
No, about 2020.
2020?
It was 2030. We got it moved up to 2020.
Like, for this year, or what?
Well, no, that's if we can get it on the books. And then my only other prospect is the fact that we have a $16.3 million in the Senate right now. If that gets approved, I was told possibly we could get it moved up to 2015, which would be, the money would be used to get it motivated, to get it to planning stage and get it on, actually get it in paperwork so everybody can start working it. Then we can have something to physically see.
Great. I wasn't here before the streetscape got done, and it looks beautiful downtown with the sidewalks and everything. But did they have like a 5 or 10 year plan? Like the street was one thing, was it any other way to grow business downtown or have some sort of other buildings? I know the courthouse moved out. Was there any other way to have growth downtown on Main Street or anything?
Well, residential is a big part of that, so senior apartments will be one factor to help with the foot traffic downtown. So once you see more foot traffic, more business, and we have to get rid of certain problems You know, you're on Main Street, you see it every day. And, but we do now have some ears with the legislation and with the coalition that we've been working with the past couple of years. So we're actually going to be having a meeting in 2 weeks with some higher-ups that hopefully can help in this situation.
And then that brings me to the, I don't think it's condemned anymore. I think Mr. George or someone's checking to see if the building beside me was still condemned or not. 124 or something.
No, 124.
It's not condemned anymore. So the condemned sticker's still up there.
Have we heard from him, Norman, at all?
No.
I mean, we really need to move on that. It's just, it's awful. And it makes everything look terrible. And Wes did such a nice job at his place, and to have that next door, I mean, it's something's got to be done.
Trash. that's
And
all I-
it's in that code, all that stuff on the rental agreement, when I've been reading all these pages here, and there, it's in there. So we really have to move on that.
See if I can reach him in his law office tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
I have called, but I've not gotten answers.
He hasn't replied to you either?
No, I did the first time.
Yeah,
Made a lot of
he's,
promises, but I haven't heard from him since. He said he's working on another place down in the Washington area, but he's gonna get on this one after he finishes, but he's been a long work.
yeah.
I'll try to call him tomorrow.
Okay.
RMR.
Good.
It is, it has been.
And that's where the criminal ran when he escaped from the courthouse 2 weeks ago. I went right down there. Right through that
Understood.
something, there's something there. There's more
Okay.
business there or something.
Hmm.
Any, besides the festival that you put on, that's awesome, for the Fall Fest, is there anything else planned? Carnivals, or, I mean, I may say that, but like, parades or,
Parade 2012 we're working on right now for Memorial Day. I believe it takes 2 years to put together a parade, a good parade, so we already started with that. The first Fridays now are set, you know that, there's brochures that should be printed shortly, they just were finished. The car shows are back, and we got probably 300 people on an email last year, and we already emailed this year's schedule, and we had such response from these men, I could not believe. Not only emails back, but phone calls thanking us for doing it again, and so that's been a real, plus for the town. So,
one thing I heard mentioned in the bagel shop was, maybe like a town, bazaar, like a, yard sale, for people in the town could just come, close the street down, how you do for Fall Fest on like a Saturday, and maybe not charge them for like the permit fee that's involved.
well, they wanted to do that at one time, but then with the town, I don't believe in office at that time. Because we have the farmer's market, to set up the tables in that area. So,
I
and,
mean, all down Main Street, like have it open.
yeah, and what happened, they wanted to bring their vehicles, and so it just really, wasn't working. Because then they wanted to work out of their vehicles. And it was just, it was really the way the group wanted to do it was really sloppy looking.
So maybe if they improved or did it like Fall Fest, how they set up or something maybe? Something to think about.
Must we try something like down in the parking lot down there? Do that.
Do something. Now we have the one big event.
Really, we start April till
One
October.
day a week, yeah.
I mean, it's not one event.
I know, well, the one a month.
Yeah.
If there's anything else, okay, we're just trying.
I mean,
to
for
see if
towns,
there's
the way volunteers are found, towns like Northeast Water Festival's going because of volunteers, Oxford Carnival's going because of volunteers, it's happening everywhere. And so we have been able to keep up with all we do, which is a lot, with the volunteers that we have, and thank goodness we're blessed with wonderful volunteers.
Oh, yeah, no, it works good.
Do you have a committee for the parade, Mary Jo?
We have some people right now, we're still looking for more.
Maybe we can get some people like West, if he could help out with it, we'd get some
Or sign up
volunteers.
sheet, even if I have information. Believe it or not, there's so many people that come into the cafe where I point in different directions, like the, I think it's called Project Crossroads now.
Yeah.
Tremendous, and then every time someone from social services comes in to get a regular coffee, I ask them to stop right in there, and it's just a connection. They didn't
Yeah,
see it all.
they work
So
with,
maybe if there's,
they're down my office a lot,
yeah,
all of
yeah.
them from Project Crossroads.
Yeah, that's what they said.
Yeah.
And then if there's maybe a sign-up sheet or something for different projects that you're looking for, like the,
We have that, I keep telling you to.
I mean, if you have something like that, to put it up in the cafe so other people.
Oh, all
in the
right,
area-
okay.
Yeah,
That,
yeah.
that way, like, I'll have a community board there, that there's so many people that come in that maybe they want to be involved. too.
Okay.
Like one of those tear things, or
Yeah.
a pamphlet I could hand out to them or something, without volunteering.
Okay.
I'll do it.
That'd be good. Great, really good.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
And also, Wes, of the carnival for the J.C.'s, I have not heard back from the owner of the property. I'm gonna call Sia tomorrow. But I did talk to Jeff Sellers, and he would be fine there, but I'm still really would like to hear back from the Route 40.
Mhm.
And so I've just been waiting.
Okay. I know I might talk to Jeff as well in the last time where they broke into all those buses and set up the fire extinguisher, so we have also security as well. That'll help stop that.
That's good. Good.
I didn't know
I know it's crazy.
that. Yeah.
I know the last parade or the successful parades that we had here previous, and initially we contacted to do the same places like Havre de Grace, who've had parades for years, and they were fortunate to give us a list of
Right.
floats and things that was
Yeah.
in there, and there was a few other places, and we were successful with that. Of course, we had it about 2 or 3 years running. Of course, we had Dick Reed and his people to set the parade up. So there's still people around, I think, that can be very vital
Oh, yeah.
if you want to have a parade.
But I mean, the thing is, people are booked every parade, so to get them, you've got to give them enough time in advance
And I agree.
to get them to yours, so.
Because even what Baltimore just had a Martin Luther King parade, and they had a lot of contestants there, and a lot of those groups said it was the first time that they were in a parade. So a lot of those people are actually looking for parade to be in.
Right.
So
The
that's
same,
a plus.
same goes to Major. We can find out, as I mentioned, about the Christmas parade in the Northeast. That was very successful. We had a lot of people there. We might get some contacts from them as well.
Yeah, I did talk to her.
Middletown has the Hummers parade.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
So it gives us time to put one together. It'd be good to get back into them again.
and of course the people in Havre de Grace, that's a volunteer group, and they raise money for the parade. Outside of the town pays nothing.
Okay, that's all I have. So I have a motion to adjourn. So second? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned.
So